The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.
Joining us here at the Nikki Clarke Show, La Creole, 810 St. Clair Avenue West. And sitting beside me is local businessman. Please welcome Brian Crombie to the show. We're not worthy. Yay. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. This is kind of fun, Nikki. Appreciate it.
Thank you. No, you're more than welcome. So, when was the last time we saw each other? It was probably a networking event.
Somewhere
yeah. Like, yeah. So I really appreciate the time you took to come down. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I've spent 20 years in business, and I've embarked in the last year or two, and that's how we met, on a fascinating, stupid thing, which is I'm doing a part-time doctorate in business at DBA, and I'm studying economic development and entrepreneurship. And after a whole bunch of work, I came to the conclusion that the secret of really successful entrepreneurship is what you're doing here tonight, which is social capital. It's an academic term called social capital. Social capital.
Okay.
And what I've done is I've turned sort of the last chapter of my thesis into a how-to book on how to actually achieve social capital, because my thesis advisory group came to me and they said, lots of people have got an idea of when social capital exists, but they don't actually do it. And a lot of people are doing it very artificially. You know, networking or speed networking or just collecting business cards or things like that don't actually do what you need to do in regards to building social capital. Okay. So they asked me to write a how-to book, and so I wrote the last chapter, and I call it Community and the Power of Co. And I've got 10 co words. CO. Co is the Latin prefix for with or together.
Right.
And I turn a whole bunch of other things that we do all the time into things that we think about with or together, and those 10 rules are my rules for how you can actually build an authentic network or an authentic relationship, and what I think that is in the end is community. And I think that's what you've got here tonight, is a wonderful community of people that all support Nikki Clarke.
Thank you, Brian. And I support the community. I really have a heart for community, and I appreciate what you said. Thank you. So I know you go out and you do many motivational speeches. One is one particular topic that you like to attempt or speak about when you go out.
Well, one of them is confidence. So CO, confidence. And confidence is interesting because confidence is a function of a couple of different things. Confidence, number one, is the state of being in certainty. And there's a couple of rules that I apply to on how you can actually create certainty. One of them is you got to do your homework, so you know what your strengths and weaknesses are. The second thing is you've got to figure out what your brand statement is. You got to simplify it to a brand statement. The third thing is you got to subject it to repetition over and over and over again, have a sign on the wall that you repeat. And the fourth thing is you got to subject that to challenge. But the best thing about confidence, and I think the young lady that you interviewed first had it right,
Ava,
is you got to be like Ava, who just says, just go do it. And so I've got a song that I use to fake my way into feeling confident that I've been using a lot lately. It used to be September by Earth, Wind, and Fire, but my new song is called Fireball by Pitbull. Have you ever heard that song?
I've heard it.
It is awesome. Can you do it for us?
All right, DJ.
Listen to this song.
Go, Brian. Go, Brian.
I think it is absolutely possible to listen to Fireball. And you may have just heard that. What the guy says is, I came, I saw, I conquered.
Gotcha.
And this is Pitbull. But you know what? 98% of the people that listen to that song and love that line will not know who said that song, who said those lines. Do you know who said those lines?
Was it Rocky?
No.
Oh, was it Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar said, and repeated in Shakespeare, said, I came, I saw, I conquered. And now Pitbull is making that line something that everyone, but think about that, that's so inspirational. I came, I saw, I conquered. And that's what Eva said. Eva said, just go do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that I think is, so one of the things about confidence is until you can actually do it yourself, And I've got a couple of friends here that I've told this story about Maria in The Sound of Music. Maria in The Sound of Music lacked confidence in what she do. She sang a song about I have confidence in confidence itself. So until such time as you actually have that confidence for sure, fake it.
Fake it till you make it?
Fake it till you make it. And Pitbull and Fireball is my current way of faking it to make it. The other two suggestions I'll give you really quickly is always sit forward. So what I'm doing right now is I'm sitting forward. Too many people, they sit back. If you sit back at a meeting or a board meeting or a negotiation, your whole, style will end up being laid back and you won't be confident. You got to sit forward, okay? And the easiest way to do that is put a fist between you and the back of the chair. Okay. The last one is stand up against a wall, put your shoulders right up against the wall. Your posture will increase. Your heart will get an inch closer to heaven. Lots of people talk about that being important, but more importantly, your lungs will expand. You'll get more oxygen. You have more oxygen in your lungs. It's impossible to not be more confident. Okay. So fake it till you make it.
I love that. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about conscious capitalism and shared value. What's that? Well,
so that's one of the other things I talk about in regards to social capital, because I think we've gone through probably 3 different evolutions of capitalism in the last 50 years. What we had was a sort of paternalistic form of capitalism in the 1950s where big business would tell us what to do. And then we had this sort of unbelievably libertarian free market capitalism where everyone was out for themselves making profit during sort of the 60s and 70s and 80s. And then really starting in the 1990s and on into the 2000s, we've had this argument that Michael Porter at Harvard Business School has said, if companies are profitable but everyone's out of work, you don't actually have prosperity. No, so you got to have companies that are profitable and people that are making high wages and growing wages. And so that's shared value. And there's a whole evolution of companies right now that are talking about conscious capitalism, which is capitalism that's conscious about all the different stakeholders. And the other way that people talk about it is if you're making beer, do you want to just make the most profitable beer? No, because if it's the most profitable beer, it may not be of high quality. And so therefore, what you really want to do is you want to have a beer that people want to drink. So if your attitude is more conscious, that you want to have high quality beer that people will drink, in the end, you'll make profit. I make a lot of presentations to real estate agents. And so, the difference I'd say is, do you want to sell people a house or do you want to find people a home? And if you're selling people a house, you're only thinking about making profit. But if you're actually trying to find people a home, they're going to say, you found me a great home last time, you're going to find me a great home. Next time, you're going to find my friends a great home. And it's a different orientation, but it's shared value. It's more conscious capitalism. And I think that there's a whole evolution. And there's now a conscious capitalism wave in the United States, book, website, conventions, etc.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with creating, like you said, the authentic relationships.
No question.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you do. You get to know people.
I do, and I care. But where are you going to be next? Do you have any other gigs coming up?
I'm speaking at a big conference in London in the middle of November for a bunch of professional communication, public relations people, and then whatever people ask me to speak at.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you being here. And where can people find you?
If you're at all interested on social media, my Twitter handle is @Brian Crombie. It's pretty easy. I've got a website that's just www.briancrombie. And hopefully I'll finish my thesis this year and I'll publish my book. And hopefully you'll have me back for my book launch. And then you can have too much of me by buying my book and reading all about my 10 powers of Co. Which confidence is only one of the powers of Co. There's 9 more that I can bore you with.
Okay. Well, I think in honor of your book, I think we should stand and all dance to Fireball. What do you say?
Awesome.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it.
Where is it?
Brian Crombie, everybody.
Mr. Worldwide to infinity. You know the roof on fire. We go boogie, oogie, oogie, jiggle, wiggle, and dance like the roof on fire. We go drink drinks and take shots until we fall out. Like the roof on fire. Now, baby, get my booty naked, take off all your clothes and light the roof on fire. Tell her, baby, 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 I'm on fire. I tell her, baby, 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 I'm on fire.